Smash Bros. Is in danger. At least, that's what it seems like. And the reason I say that is because it's always telling when things happen in a chain reaction. And I think just in this week alone, we saw that firsthand, and we saw how quickly the tides can shift when it comes to the outlook on where Smash is going. And I refer to these, of course, in 3 different scenarios. Dropping of 2 of the biggest players, and of course the end of one of the biggest tournament franchises or tournament organizers' presence in the community. I wanted to share my thoughts on it really quick as someone who has been sponsored by an S-tier org, Liquid, for going on 8-9 years now. Earlier this week, MKLeo was dropped by T1, and MKLeo is synonymous with success in Smash Bros. His value as a professional esports athlete, beyond any sense of the word, is nothing short but immeasurable. And if you're a team that wants results over everything, look no further than that. Not to mention the fact that Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is the most watched fighting game in the world. You put a brand on this man's back, you put a logo, the world's gonna see it. It is telling to me that Leo, after another amazing year in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, either wasn't able, of course, he wasn't able to renegotiate a contract that benefit both sides with him and T1, or simply T1 decided to step out of Smash Bros. Of course, the full details are only known by him, the team, and I'm sure some of his peers, but as it stands, they said Leo brought T1 fans so much to join and so many championships in these past few years. We wish Leo all the best in his next adventure. He will always be part of the T1 family. It was a jarring drop because when you think of like players getting dropped, usually it's from lack of results. Maybe it's from a smaller org that's sort of disbanding. Maybe it's a complete meltdown like what happened to Panda, but not really from T1, right? Now you notice that these S-tier orgs, they themselves aren't disbanding, they aren't going anywhere, but it should be very obvious at this point that there is a large economic downturn which has hit a lot of these orgs in a hard way. Not just a lot of the orgs, a lot of the tech sphere in general has been hit by it. So T1 dropping MKLeo, unanimous rank 1 in the world, definitely a huge bit of news for anyone who's familiar with the scene. However, this was also not backed, but I guess followed by the dropping of another player, someone who everyone else thought was very secure in their sponsorship given the longevity of their career and their tenure on the org, and that of course would be TSM dropping Tweak SSB. We can't thank you enough for everything you've done for these past 3 years, a champion, a fighter, the embodiment of what it means to don the black and white. You're a TSM legend, and we wish you the best in your future. Keep tearing it up, Tweak. And they accompanied it with this video.
So the momentum really shifts in game whenever you know that he's feeling himself, and that's how you see that pop off, man. When you see that emotion from a player, that's how you know how much this game means to them.
This is a different style of Tweak today, man. Like he has been explosive in almost every game.
Tweak yet again dominating performance. He said, just in case you forgot who the hell I am, I'm here to remind you.
Try to make a play here, man.
Tweak no.
He needs to get away from Leo. He needs to hold center, keep his feet on the ground. Leo.
Oh, wait a minute. That's not going to be down.
Let's go, Tweak!
I was going to ask the crowd who they're looking for.
Tweak's accomplishments in Ultimate are nothing short of phenomenal. He's literally one of the 2 or 3 de facto faces of American Ultimate. There's only 2 players, Light and Onan, I would say, who can even attest to having the near results as an American player in the scene. Not only that, he's got an Ultimate win under his belt, recent major wins, and one of the most crowd favorite players to win at all points. He's a master of multiple characters. He runs the Tweak Talks podcast, so he does content as well. He's just got a great brand behind him. The people love him. And so for even Tweak to be also dropped by TSM right after MKLeo, it begs the question, who's next? It begs the question as to whether or not a lot of esports orgs in general are losing faith in Smash, given the state of things, or if it's just a simple consequence of the amount of sponsors pulling out of the esports space in general. This is not limited to Smash, by the way. This is not what you're seeing here. Smash is not the only esport this is happening to. That should be noted. So if you want my opinion, I do not think this will be the last of the Smash players to be dropped by an org. When you look at the longest standing players that were signed in Ultimate at this point, without Leo and Tweak, I'm thinking who else has been there for a long time. And you go down the roster, right? I mean, you've got the Moist Boys, you've got Liquid the Buzz, you've got a lot of players that have become synonymous with their org, and vice versa. So you can't really blame orgs for dropping players if there is a disagreement on what they feel deserve. When one org doesn't want to pay a certain amount for a player, there's one org that probably always will be able to. My prediction is that Leo will very, very soon be picked up by another org, probably with a juicy offer. And I could see the same for Tweak as well. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the overall downturn of Smash as a whole. I get the title of this video is that Smash Bros is in danger. It feels that way right now, and I'm sure everyone clicking this video can agree that this has been one of the shittiest weeks for the scene as a whole. And how can we forget that both of these news factoids were, of course, they're sandwiches to the meat of being that Beyond the Summit, as I saw from my previous video, is no longer going to be around or hosting events for Smash or any other esport. There will be more drops, there will be more events that probably won't happen, but I don't necessarily think this is going to be like the end-all be-all for Smash Bros. These things happen. These tides ebb and flow. These shifts in the economy will happen. It's not the first time we've been through this, and if you want to stay positive and continue supporting your scene, I think that's the best thing you can do right now as an individual. Host an event if you want in your area. Host a local. Help out with making some content. Try and just help another player in your scene maybe get to the big tournament they want to go to. I understand that, compendiums are usually like the safe and organized way to do that, but, you don't need a compendium that's organized by a big event to, help fundraise a friend or a top player from a region to go to like a tournament like Collision. Maybe they need help with a plane ticket or a hotel or a sponsorship. A lot of times, if there's no teams picking up players, sometimes the local community has to lift up those players if they really want them to go. We see it happen in droves for Summit because Summit is that big of a deal. But now, the next most important tournaments are probably going to be the ones remaining. The Big House, the Genesis, so on and so forth, SmashCon. So make sure you support your players, make sure you support your local scenes, and I will say don't treat this as like the end or the sign of doom of things to come. It's going to sting for a bit, but it always comes back up. And the reason I'm secure in the future of Smash isn't because of, I'm sure some, angel investor comes and puts a lot of money into the scene. Well, that would be great. We know that that's not always the case at all. I'm confident in the future of the scene because of the viewership that we get. There, no matter what, is always so many eyes on people playing Smash Bros, especially compared to a lot of other esports. It is a very celebrated game. It's a very enjoyed game by a very wide audience. And when there is interested parties willing to take a risk on the players, willing to take a risk on the scene, they'll make actions. And with all of these players and now staff, organizers, media, editors, there's so many free agents right now. It's ripe time right now, I think, for maybe a brand new org to really take some risks and try to become a new pillar in the Smash scene. It's not like there isn't anything to gain out of it. Of course there is. It just has to be done in the proper way. And I'm sure it won't be a matter of time before there's new players on the scene, both behind the TV and facing the screen as well. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below about the future of Smash. Let me know where you think things are going, and let me know what teams or orgs that you want to see get involved in the game that we haven't seen before. Of course, there's always been some new orgs as well. I think, with FaZe picking up Spargo and so on. It's never too late. It's never too late to take a chance in the game, and there always will be people playing Smash Bros, even if there's not a single dollar given out in tournaments. That is the truth, and that's how it will be. So, again, Thank you for watching. Place your thoughts in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.